Hello and welcome to a special feature of Deeds of Arms and Chivalry. This features the conflict 100 Years War, and that is of course between the English and the French. Actually there are a number of other factions, but this mod specifically focuses on that conflict with, between those two factions. So let's head in, shall we? And yeah, let me just tell you, if you want to download this mod, then there is a link in the description. This was actually just released a number of days ago. It's a very recent mod to be released, and I gotta say, I actually think this is really good. And this is based on diplomacy as well. So for those of you that really love diplomacy, you're gonna have a fantastic time here. Anyway, we're gonna just be choosing all the top options. Well, technically the only top option that you can choose at the time, because what that does is it basically gives you a wide variety of different gear and everything like that. I'm just going to choose the top banner there, and we're going to go and call ourselves Eggs Benedict? Yeah, I guess that's fine. We'll just go with that. Anyway, I'm just going to spec into some agility here, get some of that, get some more of this, and more of that, and then we are good to go. Let's do this. There we go, fantastic. Just going to go with this, that's fine. And here we are. So look at this, this is the map itself. It is actually massive, if you can, if you can see. It's actually pretty massive. So we have the Duchy of Burgundy, we have the Kingdom of England, we have the Duchy of Brittany, and we also have the Kingdom of France. And there are troop trees. Oh yes, there are troop trees. Okay, so we start with 300 dinars. That's absolutely fine. This is my beginning stats. And as I was mentioning before, in the character creation, dependent on what you choose, that also depends on your starting gear. Now, my gear right now is decent. I think it's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't have 9 strength to use the light lance, but I only need to get 1 level up to be able to do that. And we have a pretty decent horse as it is. But if you were to choose a different character creation option, then you're going to get different gear as a result. So you're not going to go through the character creation and be like, oh, okay, so I'm going to pick this option, that option, this option. No, it's not like that. It is much simpler in the way that it does things, but bear in mind that it is also much more impactful with your decision, because it's only one decision, but that decision is going to basically affect everything. It's going to affect how much renown you start with. It's going to affect what your gear is like, how much money you have and everything. So think about that carefully if and when you decide to download the mod. So first things first, this mod is still in development. Just so you know, this mod is still in development, so it is definitely not finished by any means. But from what I have seen of it so far, I'm very excited about it, to be honest, because here's the thing. The map is massive, already shown you this. The troop trees are really cool. They're going to be changing these as well, by the way. They're going to be making them better and improving them as time goes on. And now here's the thing. The developers are striving to be historically accurate in as many areas as possible. So for those of you that are historically minded and are very much interested in this era of history, this is the mod for you. Anyway, the mod is still a work in progress, and some areas have not been fully fleshed out or anything like that. And among them are the scenes. They are still using relatively native-based scenes for varieties of different things, like walking through the streets and castles and taverns and things like that. So it's all relatively similar in that regard, but there are very historically accurate family links. So every single lord that you're going to come across has a historically accurate family attached to him, and also their banners are very accurate as well. Anyway, as you can see right here, we've got the Kingdom of France, England, Burgundy, Brittany, and others. Well, who are the others? The Flemish. The Flemish. So you can see here that we can also, there are 2 different menus, which I actually love. I think this is really a very cool thing to have here. And that means that you can go for, you can have a look at the knight. Oh, look at that. You can have a look at this guy. You can have a look at his stats and everything, and you can exactly see if you want to take this guy and recruit him from a tavern, because that's exactly what it's for, the troop trees, being able to see these things. And disgruntled farmer, for example. You know, Fred the farmer has returned for his revenge, apparently. But anyway, yeah, he's got a pretty decent amount of athletics. Got to say that. Anyway, let's take a look at the Kingdom of England right here. So you can see we've got English captain. Then we have English squire. As you can see, they go into these, which are a part of the Order of St. George's Knights. Absolutely insane weapon proficiencies, 8 power strike, really, really nice. You can even see their inventory, as you can see right here. Look at how crazy the amount of detail is in the troop trees. Just so many different things that you can do here. And the English peasant archer will eventually become an English retinue longbowman. These guys are really good, 180 proficiency, and so on and so forth. You can even see what they are going to be using. You can also rotate the troop if you so desire, and you can click on pieces of gear to display them so you can see what your troop is going to look like as well, which I think is really cool. And speaking of customizing your look, well, there are actually different pieces of gear. For example, this helmet that I'm currently wearing that is customizable, and this is really, really cool in my opinion. Now, what you can do with this is you can go to an armorer in a town, and for a few dinars, you will be able to customize the color of a particular piece on your armor. And so you're basically going to be able to customize your entire character however you so desire. However, do bear in mind that as far as I'm aware, you're going to need to be a bit careful about which colors you choose, because those colors can be regarded as treasonous if you decide to choose ones that are against the particular faction that you're in. So, for example, if you choose, I would assume, if you choose something like blue and you're in England, then that's going to be regarded as treasonous. I'm not entirely sure on the whole deal with it, the whole system that is in place, but from what I could tell, that seems to be it from when I tried it out beforehand. Anyway, let's have a look here. I don't think they've done anything with the arena fights or anything like that, but we're going to go in here nevertheless and just see if I can do something. These swords are pretty cool, by the way. Very much enjoying using these swords. And that was just a novice. That was just a novice fighter right there. What a beast. What a beast he was to absolutely almost murder me right there instantly. I'm not actually going to go through all of this, but I just find it rather amusing that novice fighter was knocked unconscious by Eggs Benedict. I think that's really quite hilarious. I was actually wanting to pick a rather humorous name for this special feature, but yeah, I think I'm probably going to think of something a little bit better next time around. Anyway, I'm going to just try and get to as far as I can with this, because we need a little bit of extra cash to be able to recruit some more units. I actually really like the... is it just me, or are the animations a little bit smoother? Is that just me? Not entirely sure. Not entirely sure, but it seems to me like everything seems a little bit easier to use, but maybe it is literally just because we're using like a tournament sword. Oh yeah, by the way, the armor and the weapons are also extremely accurate when it comes to this time period. Gotta say, I really, really love that. I was blocking that. Did you see that? I was actually blocking that. Maybe I lowered my guard at the very last second there, but yeah. Anyway, the armor is really, really cool too. So there are a huge amount of tournaments being held here as well, as you can see. So if you want to, you know, go on the tournament trip, then you can do that. Otherwise, let's take a look at the marketplace. You can see here every single piece of armor is within your grasp. It is, because look at this. I can use this straight away because there are no strength requirements. And that's something that I really love about this mod already, because it basically makes it so that you can use any piece of armor with very minimal strength requirement. And you know what that means? That means that you are playing, well, basically the most modifiable character build that you can. And I think that's really cool when mods do that, because it's not forcing you to spend your skill points and attribute points into strength-based things. You know, you're not having to spec into strength to be able to wear the gothic armor, for example. And instead, you can concentrate your abilities on things like, well, what? Intelligence. You can spend in intelligence or in charisma or in something like that, and then you're going to have a really, really great time of things if you want to be a commander type or a medic type or anything like that. Even if you want to just be someone that doesn't really do that much fighting and you just want to spec a huge amount into leadership or something, then you can do that too. And you're not going to have to worry about running around in a robe, you know, that literally has like, I don't know, 20 body armor or something. You're going to have some good armor because I've had a look at the weapons here. You're basically only going to need about 12 strength if you really want to use every single weapon here. Of course, you can spec in more if you so desire, but it is not necessary, which I think is really cool. Otherwise, they have a bunch of horses here. This horse actually doesn't have a requirement either, which I think might be a bit of a mistake. As I've said, there are a lot of development things to be done on the mod, and it is still in development, as stated beforehand. But yeah, I think what I'm seeing right here is really, really cool. I like the low requirements of things. I think that's really nice. We're just going to buy cheap bread. Apparently that's all I can buy. Also, there are local militia that you will be able to recruit as well. Now, you're probably asking yourself, or you're asking me maybe, you're probably asking me, are the sieges any different? Well, from what I have seen so far, the sieges are not any different, unfortunately. I would have been like super crazy about the mod, well, more than I already am, that is, if it had unique sieges in some way. But that's a massive amount of work. We've got to remember that this is basically a form of game development, and game development itself is very, very time consuming. And I think that in general, we've got to remember that modders, they don't have a huge team behind them, you know, they don't have 60 people working on helping them, you know, most of the time it's a very small team or a solo person. So we've got to remember that when taking into account the amount of work that goes in to all of these features, and just to literally have this entire thing. I mean, just think about how long it must have taken someone to literally go through all of these villages, to place all these villages in geographically accurate locations, and then rename them to accurate names, you know, because that's just doing that is so time consuming. I mean, I would assume, because I've never done anything like that myself. But anyway, I am going to be going off screen. We're going to try and build up an army that is capable of going into a fight, and then we'll see how we go. But yeah, not too bad. We were able to recruit a couple of peasant archers and peasants. These guys level up into yeomen, and these guys level up into yeoman archers, as well as garrison long crossbowmen. But I would not recommend the crossbowmen because they don't level up any further. All right, so here we go. After a little bit of enhancing, we are here speaking to John of Lancaster, because he is the ruler of the Kingdom of England at this point. And I'm going to be joining him. I'm going to be joining him as a vassal, and we're going to see how we do. So what is he going to give me? All right, it's going to be the one that has been raided the most, no doubt. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. All right, so to catch you up on a couple of things, I'm actually just going to have a look and see where my fief actually is. Oh, it's all the way over there. Oh, that's actually fine. I don't mind that too much. It hasn't been raided. It's pretty deep into our territory. Nothing too bad there. Thank you very much. All right, so we're currently at Paris. This is my army at the moment. As you can see, I've gone maybe a little bit overboard with the amount of longbowmen that I have. But I just wanted to demonstrate to you that there are a variety of different ways that you can recruit in this mod. One of them is to go to a village and just recruit some peasants. Very standard, right? The other way is to go to a town and recruit some local militia, as you can see right here. And then the other way, there's 3 different ways to do this to get 3 different types of troops. The other way is to go to a castle and recruit local nobles, as you can see right here. So I can get 4 English squires. I can get them as dismounted or mounted. I'm going to get mounted so that they can level up into these guys. And as we've seen, these guys are pretty menacing. So hopefully they're going to level up relatively soon, and we'll see how they do. But otherwise, we are going to go and attack the Kingdom of France in some way. Maybe we'll take this little castle over here and see what we can do about that. And then I can show you the siege combat. As I've said, don't expect anything different from native or anything like that, but it is going to be very fun to see what kinds of units are going to be up against us and how our units actually do, because of course I've not actually fought in this mod before, so this is going to be really fun. I have actually fought against peasants, but that's neither here nor there, to be honest. Anyway, let's lead our soldiers in an assault and see what we can do here. So I'm not entirely sure what we should... Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, never mind. Okay. Phew. That was close. I actually thought that I had completely messed things up there for a second. But anyway. I have a firearm. I don't know how this counts as a firearm, but I'm going to try and make it work. So let's see what I can do here. Okay. That did not really work out too well. Anyway, let's just move our forces a little bit closer here. How many do I have on the battlefield right now? Oh yeah, my battle size is actually quite low because of the other mods that I'm playing. So I'm actually going to increase that to 150. And then we'll see if we can maybe get a couple more reinforcements in here. But as you can see, our longbowmen are doing a fantastic job. Of course, the English are known for their longbowmen. And yeah, I'm actually reloading my weapon pretty nicely right here. Look at all these arrows. Wow, that's just insane. So let's just shoot this guy in the face. There we go. You got killed by Eggs Benedict. You did. Yes, that is quite embarrassing. But anyway, let's see if we can... Oh, nice damage. Even with a body shot. Nice. I was not expecting that. Anyway, I have a sword. The sword is decent. I mean, it's not great, but of course, the great thing about the mod is the fact that most enemies, shall we say, most units in general, are going to have very balanced armor on. So you're never really going to find any enemy that is super overpowered. And I think that's really cool to keep that nice balance available, because you don't really want to be in a position where you come across a guy that has, you know, full plate on with, you know, a closed helmet and a shield with like lions on it, and it's red, and he's got a gun on his back. I mean, I'm not talking about myself, obviously. You don't want to come across this guy. That's for sure. You don't want to come across this guy. But yeah, anyway, the point is, all joking aside, very much appreciate the balancing effort that the modding team has gone through, because making it so that you literally don't come across someone that is going to be so incredibly difficult to kill that it's just frustrating, but everyone is up for grabs in this mod, and I think that's a really, really nice balancing effort there. And as far as I'm aware, there are 3 members of the development team on this mod, and if there are more or less, then I apologize, but as far as I'm aware, there are 3, and that's actually kind of amazing. I mean, it's amazing basically for any mod to be created, in my opinion, because you have to, you know, wade in through someone else's code, and you have to make your own, you know, changes and everything. I feel like that's quite difficult, but maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, this is going quite well for us. Unfortunately, we are taking quite a few casualties here. I'm not entirely sure why that would be, because theoretically we... Ah, yeah, I see. I see the issue now. We have a bunch of people at the front here. We need to take them down. Thank you. Excuse me. I think I might be dying soon. Oh yes. Also, by the way, this mod has Freelancer. Yeah, this mod has Freelancer. So if you want to build up from 0, I'd highly recommend enlisting in a Lord's army and then going from there. That usually has the best results, because from what I've seen, there are not too many looter parties to start off killing. There are a lot of deserter parties, so if you're particularly confident in your own abilities, then you could definitely go and attack some deserters or something like that. But I'd recommend just becoming a freelancer of some kind and then going from there, and you know, just joining your favorite faction, whoever that may be. And, you know, that's it. That's basically it. It's a very, very nicely done mod. And the battle camera is a little bit difficult to use. That is something that I'm... Yeah. If you're wondering why I'm having difficulties, the the battle camera, or shall we say the after death camera, uses the numpad. I'm never a fan of after death cameras that use the numpad. That's just a personal preference thing. But the way that I turn the camera like this, it's opposites. So basically if I press 1 on the numpad, it turns the camera right. But if I press 3, then it turns the camera left. You can kind of see how that would be a bit confusing. But anyway, apart from that, everything in the mod is working as intended, and as far as I can see, it's an extremely polished first publishing of their version. And congratulations to the development team. They've done a really, really great job, and especially for the historically accurate community. They're going to love this. They are absolutely going to love this. So if you would like to download the mod, there is a link in the description. Otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.